rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. Big shout out to a return of a Whiskey Warrior P1. Our condolences for you. Obviously we all are affected. Not as much as you, of course, but we all are affected by his passing. And tonight, Fat Paws is up for the pledge. So I gotta say that it is very sad when someone is ripped away from you as quickly as he was. We will all feel it, but no more so than you. But welcome back to the chat. Hopefully, everybody there I know supports you, and I know that you've had a lot of people reach out to you during this time, and I really feel I'm glad that you're back, and I hope that with each passing day, you'll gain more comfort in knowing the fact that Fat Paws was very well known and loved across the board, even across the United States. Because, outside of me moving to Alaska, I can't get much farther away from you folks. So, in the U.S. Oh no, I take that back. I could. Yeah, technically, I could go to Hawaii and be a little bit farther away. But anyway, I digress. So in Fat Paw's honor, I'm going to play his pledge here in just a minute. But in Fat Paw's honor, I'm going to let it pause for a small time afterward, after he is done, for a moment of silence for Fat Paws. So if you are of mine, please stand. Remove your hat if you're wearing one like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with "May he rest in peace," the great Fat Paws, as he recites the pledge, and I gotta douse my fire, the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I thank you, Fat Paws, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. I will continue to play that pledge as long as I'm allowed to. Let's just put it that way. He will remain in the rotation forever. At least as long as I'm around. All right. If you would like to put your pledge in and have your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and attach it to an email address. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That is fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. And I will get you into the rotation. I am sitting at I'm sitting at 20 of these, and I really would like to get 21 and beyond. So if you haven't done so, please do so at your earliest convenience. I've also been told by another heavenly host that if you record it on your phone, that you can use the share option in order to get it over to me. So you can send it to me via the share option. You just press share, and then you tell it that you want to send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online, and it'll get to me. So I'm looking for number 21 for sure. So number 21. Yeah, so there you go. All right. Tonight's headline sponsor, of course, is the Institute on the Constitution. The Institute on the Constitution was established in 2004 as a 501c3 nonprofit with one singular mission, and that is to restore the constitutional republic through grassroots education. All courses and materials are developed using primary source documents and taught from the American view of law and government as defined in the Declaration of the Independence. Declaration of Independence in the following 3 key points. 1, there is a God. 2, our rights come from him. And 3, the purpose of civil government is to secure and protect our God-given rights. The IOTC offers the opportunity to educate yourself on our most precious founding document, the Constitution of the United States. They also provide tools to educate your community and get involved with local government. Start by taking their free U.S. Constitution course and go from there. Use my affiliate link, iotc.americanperspective.online, to sign up. And while you are there, take a moment to look through their other course material and information. My affiliate link, once again, is iotc.americanperspective.online to get great content to learn about our historical founding and support the show in the process. That's iotc.americanperspective.online. Or if you just want to purchase this fabulous Saddleback leather-bound U.S. Constitution to support the show, go to constitution.americanperspective.online. Let's take a look at this wonderful product here. It's got 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant. Look at that binding, folks. No cheap glue here. It is stitched all the way through the leather and the pages contained within. It has sexy rounded corners. And by the way, it is got a 100-year warranty against materials and manufacturing defects, such that if there is a problem with this product, you can send it back to the manufacturer and they will either fix it or replace it for free. It is buddy tested, buddy approved, Billy tasted, Billy approved, and my youngest whiskey warrior has confirmed that the information contained within will help you to study for your civics badge in Scouts, as well as your civics exam, or maybe even that naturalization test that you're planning on taking. Go to constitution.americanperspective.online to get your Constitution, leather-bound Constitution that has all amendments having at least a 100-year numerical order guarantee as well. I don't know what these things are. These are just my whiskey warrior guys, P1s throwing out all that stuff in there. But anyway, go to constitution.americanperspective.online to get yours today. You might want to order it soon, because if you want to stick it in that stocking to either give it to a loving conservative who loves the Constitution, or give it to a leftist lunatic in your family who you would love watching. Kind of like having a leftist lunatic in your family is kind of like watching dogs and cats. You buy dogs and cats presents for Christmas, and all they want to do is tear up the paper. That's it. It's all they want to do is they just want to play with the paper and the boxes, and they don't care about the toy that's actually in it. You know what? That kind of goes for kids too. Like, really young kids. Anyway, go to constitution.americanperspective.online to get yours today, and also go and check out the rest of the Institute on the Constitution's offerings, as they have a fantastic series of information and just wonderful stuff for you to go and check out. And I appreciate them for allowing me to be an affiliate. Wow. There's times I go through that spot and I keep forgetting that I actually do press the button to change over from IOTC to Constitution, and I forget that sometimes, and just, yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, we've got some good news out of D.C. The National Guardsman, the other National Guardsman that got shot by that Afghani national brought in by Biden, non-vetted, is potentially radicalized here in the U.S., which I don't know what the hell happened with that or where that came from. But anyway, the National Guardsman Andrew Wolf is apparently responsive, and he gives a nurse the thumbs up after that attack. Now, keep in mind, okay, the neurologist, you remember I told you about the update from his mother, where his mother was saying that he had progressed a lot farther than what they expected. And so this is just another really good sign for this young man to have made it back into the fold here at the here on Earth, rather than going to his heavenly Father. Unfortunately, the other National Guards person did not. She passed away on Thanksgiving. But anyway, good signs, good news. Let's keep praying for this gentleman. Hopefully he can make a recovery, a full recovery. So the White House, I don't know why people are doing this. I really don't. Why they really care. I mean, let's face it. The president has some of the best doctors, and specialists in the world. But for some damn reason, and believe me, if there was something, well, then again, we just got done with Biden, where Biden was supposed to be in perfectly good health and yet can't even remember the fact that he was probably president. So I guess throw that completely out the window. But one of the things that did happen is a bunch of Democrats, starting off with Tim Walz. I mean, Trump called Tim Walz retarded. There's a reason why, because Tim Walz is a complete, utter, stupid moron. And I got something on him here in a little bit, or here later in the program, but he was allowing all of this fraud to happen on his watch, being the governor of Minnesota, and all of those Somali immigrants doing all of those fraudulent behavior and everything else. Well, anyway, to hit Trump back, Tim Walz and the rest of the sycophantic Democrat morons on the social medias, they were all like, well, release your MRI. Well, guess what? The White House did release the MRI, and it comes to find out that, yes, Trump actually had a perfectly normal MRI for his age. There you go. It's perfect. He's right on line with where he's supposed to be. And of course that, once again, another Democrat rumor completely shot down, in terms of they were saying, oh, yeah, he's not healthy. He's not healthy. They're not going to release his MRI because he's not healthy. No, he's perfectly healthy. And apparently he took a cognitive exam, one that Joe Biden wouldn't take, and passed it with flying colors, too. That wasn't all that long ago that happened. Well, let's talk about a narrative that is just falling apart. That's right. Just falling completely apart. And that narrative happens to be surrounding Pete Hegseth. So, you know that the left, the last couple of days, the last 48 hours, especially over the weekend, the narrative has been that Pete Hegseth put out some sort of a order. And, the timing of this, I got to be honest with you, the timing of this kind of sycophantic BS has got to be tied to that whole thing about unlawful orders with the seditious six. It just has to be. Because of the fact that, the left does not just randomly do these things. They tend to put things out there and so on and so forth. They put things out there. They try and influence people's emotions. They try to play on people's fears. They try to manipulate and use propaganda and misinformation and all this other stuff to force you into thinking that things are doing whatever it is that they want you to do, whether it's bad or whether it's, so on and so forth. But anyway, in this particular case, the narrative about Pete Hegseth is actually exploding because of the leftists' own mainstream media outlet. So here's the real quick story. The quick story about it is that during the attack on the last boat from Venezuela, there were 2 strikes that occurred. The first one took out the boat originally, but didn't take it completely out. It only damaged it, apparently. They didn't hit it well enough or didn't hit it in the right spot. Who the hell knows? Anyway, the thing was there was product still on board. There were apparently a couple of what they called survivors on board. And essentially, the narrative that was being brought out was the fact that Hegseth basically said, hey, hit it again, kill them all, whatever it was that the left keeps claiming that he did. Well, it turns out, according to, yes, this is it, the New York Times, folks, the New York Times put out a story that said that Hegseth ordered a lethal attack. Okay. Yeah, that's what you do. I mean, how else are you going to blow something up if it isn't lethal and there's people around? I mean, let's be honest here. The funny thing about all of this story is that not a single person, not a single Democrat is crying over the fact that there may have been people in the bombing of the Iran nuclear facility, Fordo, or whatever it is, Fordo. Anyway, moving on. So they're sitting here trying to hang Pete Hegseth with a war crime label. Except there's only one problem. Pete Hegseth told them to use a lethal attack. That was prior to the first attack. He didn't issue any other order. He didn't issue any other directive. He didn't clarify. He just said, make it lethal. That's it. And so now there appears to be an admiral who it basically ordered the second attack. Admiral Frank M. Bradley was the Special Operations Commander that Hegseth had authorized to oversee that attack, to basically conduct these kinetic strikes. And apparently Admiral Bradley had worked well within his authority and law to direct the engagement to ensure the boat itself was destroyed, as well as all the product on it, so that the threat to the United States of America was eliminated. Now, this is according to 5 U.S. officials who spoke separately and on the condition of anonymity, because remember, the Washington Post ran with this story with a very, very thready, I'm talking like thin thread of evidence. There was one person who spoke completely on the condition of anonymity. Now we have 5. Now we have 5 that were all basically saying that Mr. Hegseth, Secretary of War Hegseth, ahead of the September 2nd attack, ordered a strike that would kill the people on the boat, destroy the vessel, and its purported cargo of drugs. However, each official also followed that up, saying that Secretary of War Hegseth's directive did not specifically address what should happen if a first missile turned out to not fully accomplish all of those things. So the official said his order was not a response to the surveillance video that the Democrats are claiming. Now, look, when you're in a battle situation and you get the order to go and obliterate some site, doesn't matter what it is, your mission is to completely obliterate whatever the target is. Okay, you're basically told just wipe it off the map. They don't tell you how to do it. They don't tell you, oh, if you strike it once and it doesn't get affected, or it's not effective, then you got to check for survivors and all that. No, your orders are to eliminate the target. Period. There's nothing else to it. You just eliminate it. And that's pretty much what's happened here. And so Admiral Bradley is like, okay, well, here's the initial missile strike. And then, I guess that missile wasn't strong enough. Maybe it was a partial dud in the batch. Who the hell knows why? But my mission is to obliterate this object, whatever it is. Just wipe it off the face of the earth. Okay, well, if one don't do it, I'm going to hit it with 2 or 3 or however many more. And that's exactly what happened. So Hegseth wasn't even, he didn't give any further orders to the admiral other than obliterate said site, said target. Just obliterate them. And there you go. So I don't know how the left is going to try and explain how this all of a sudden falls on the Secretary of War's lap when he gave the order, the previous order. I mean, come on. You knew. They know there's going to be people on that boat. They know that. It's not like they're running robot boats. Okay, there's going to be narco-terrorists on the boat. The boat is to be destroyed, just like with Iraq. You know, or Iran, I'm sorry, just like with Iran and the nuclear site in Iran, you got to hit the site. You don't even know if there's any people in there. You don't know how many. You just know that thing's got to go. The people involved are called collateral damage. That happens in war. That happens. You can't just sit here and tell me that all of a sudden, because of the fact that the boat itself did not get completely destroyed the first strike, you wouldn't follow it up with a second or third strike. I told you about a story with Mark Kelly, who seems to think that, if you can't blow it up in the first shot, you don't do it. Well, he and his wingman went and ended up dropping a second salvo on a site because they didn't obliterate it according to their mission parameters. I mean, what part of this and what part of this do these people really, really not understand here? Okay. Now, these 5 officials clarified the sequence of events amid this whole bullshit political and legal uproar that followed the very thin thread report in the Washington Post last week. So, this is all being taken completely out of, tying this to the fact that the Democrats listed unlawful orders and sent that video out. And by the way, too, it's also fully been reported that the White House has complied with all directives, including filling in the appropriate Congress oversight committees and everything else in terms of for this entire episode. So there is absolutely no freaking way, none whatsoever, that this could be considered an unlawful order. None. There is none. Everything was followed. It's perfectly within the legal parameters of known law. And, these people are designated narco-terrorists. They're a designated enemy of the United States, just like ISIS has been, just like all the drone strikes and everything else that Obama did, that, Trump did before, that any other, you can keep going all the way back. All the way back to like JFK and everything else. Because, again, America itself has not declared war officially since World War II. So everything that has happened since World War II, technically, if you really want to get down to it, by the definition of the Democrats, and that's the point that I want to make here, by the definition of the Democrats, pretty much everything that we did from World War II till today has been illegal, according to the Democrats. Yeah. I don't think they would I don't think they would like it if their Messiah Obama was brought up on charges for issuing unlawful orders. Anyway, yeah. This is just ridiculous that they're even bothering to go after this. And they're claiming that they're going to do congressional investigations in the matter. I don't know if they're really going to go anywhere. I mean, they're really not. So, whatever. I don't know. Yep. So whatever happens, I guess. All right. I want to take a second because this is coming into the time of year that honestly I really have difficulty with. Okay. The reason why I have difficulty has nothing to do with the fact that this is, a celebration of our Lord and Savior's birth. That this is the original, that Jesus is the reason for the Christmas season. You know, the part that I get frustrated with is the fact that we are, especially now, allowing the what do you call it? The, let's say, usurpation of our Christmas traditions. See, it all starts with this whole thing. Happy holidays. What the hell? No, it's Christmas. That's the holiday. It is the holiday is Christmas. Okay? Stephen Stiles and I go around and around about this. But you say Merry Christmas. That's what it is. Okay? Now, you're sitting here and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what's the big deal about happy holidays? Well, here's why I'm getting frustrated and why this has been a long time, long buildup, long usurpation of our Christian traditions from this Judeo-Christian principles and values founded country, okay, is because of stupid shit like what we have in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me about, we got some emergency vehicles passing by. I excuse the background noise. But anyway, Portland, Oregon did their, quote, tree lighting ceremony. Well, what tree are you lighting? It's a freaking Christmas tree, okay? So there's all these people at this Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And all of the people, apparently, because they were the leaders and speakers, all were at this event at Pioneer Courthouse Square down in downtown Portland. And apparently, every single one of them avoided the using the word Christmas, and even kept referring to the massive Christmas tree as just the tree. Now, what's even worse is they had some jackasses, idiots, on the stage, and, well, let's just say these folks, whoever the hell they are, decided to do, and I got to get this over here, but decided to do this. This is a short clip, so it goes by really, really fast. But take a listen to what these morons did.
And so if I could get a free Palestine! Free Palestine! Thank you.
So for those of you who are on the audio portion of the program, this woman is standing on the stage with three other, well, I'm assuming they're women, but the one on the far right, I can't tell because her face is turned away. She does have long hair, though, so I'm going to assume she's a woman. But anyway, she's standing here, the one speaking. She's standing here, and she's holding up a freaking Palestinian flag. What the holy living whatever is this woman even doing at this celebration? This has nothing, literally nothing to do with the war in Gaza or the Middle East or any of these things. What the hell is she doing? And what's even worse is, why did anybody even respond to that? I mean, seriously, if I had was standing on if I was standing on a stage and I in freaking Gaza and I said, something about, who the hell knows? Something about Israel or something like that. I mean, I would not expect to get any kind of a response other than a violent one, potentially, from the crowd. Talk about complete, utter, stupid morons. Anyway, what's even worse than that, though, is the fact that the event apparently seemed to lack the usual Christmas spirit that most U.S. cities have during the holiday season. And social media users were all like, what? And many of them, according to PDX, which is that's actually the airport code for Portland, but PDX Real, a post on X, they said they posted, thousands came to the Christmas tree lighting, and many told me parts of the program felt like political messaging that was out of place and inappropriate for a family event. Folks, this is what they do. This is the color revolution. This is exactly what they do. They come in, they adopt, they don't adopt our customs. They have absolutely no interest in assimilating. They invade and take over our customary events and then try to make you feel bad because, you should be much more accepting. You should be much more, inclusive. That's the term. Inclusive. No, I don't. I'm here at a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Your ass does not need to be here. If you want to be here, just shut up and enjoy the festivities and look at all the pretty lights. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to do. I don't need to hear about your, free Palestine. I don't need to hear about all of that crap. I don't need any of that. And yet here they are taking this over, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They wouldn't even call it the Christmas tree lighting. They just called it the 41st annual tree lighting. What the hell kind of tree are you lighting? You're not lighting it on fire, folks. You're lighting it with Christmas lights. Yeah. So, whatever. Anyway. And by the way, this isn't the only thing that's happening here. If you honestly believe that all of these immigrants that were let in by the Biden administration were wanting to assimilate into our society, this next story will definitely prove you wrong. But before I get to that, let me talk to you about this wonderful elixir that I wake up to every single morning. It's known as coffee. It is the thing that kickstarts my day. Yes, I know caffeine is supposed to be bad for you, but so is whiskey, and I drink both. So there you go. Anyway, if you still haven't tried 1775 coffee, now is your shot. The 1775 starter kit has dropped. There's a small number of units available. In each unit, you're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and you'll also get to try the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. Pick one, pick two, pick all three. It doesn't matter. Order all three of them from 1775 Coffee after you've given them a try. But that's not the only thing that comes in this kit. And by the way, all of those coffees are single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. But as I said, that's not the only thing you're getting in the kit, because you're also going to be getting a gold spoon clip, because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. You'll also be getting a frother that is strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. Not that that isn't easy. And you'll also be receiving a black 1775 tumbler. It's $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for just the low, low price of $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 coffee blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Here's how you get this kit. Go to the numbers 1775 coffee. It's all put together. 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. That's 1775coffee.com/studio. That / is the question mark key. /studio and grab that starter kit. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Go to 1775coffee.com /studio and grab your starter kit before they are gone. Grab it today. Well, as I was saying, these people don't want to assimilate. These people don't want to assimilate. And they are actually committing crimes within the United States borders. Don't believe me? Here, PJ Media. Honor killing. There was a girl drowned by her family for embracing Western values. Okay, what the hell? You're here in the U.S. If you don't like American values, don't effing come here. Seriously, I mean, go to some other country that has your same values and system and everything else. Why would you even come here if you don't want your children to actually embrace Western culture? What the hell do you think is going to happen? So here's the story. Apparently, the girl's name is Ryan. And Ryan was only 18 years old. She had lived her entire adult life ahead of her. Her Muslim family was from Syria. But in 2014, they moved to the Netherlands as asylum seekers. Apparently, the peace and refuge that they found in the Netherlands were only for the men. So, like any other teenage girl, okay, Ryan wanted to fit in. So she began acting Western, as her father and brothers put it. She took an interest in boys. She had an interest in makeup and social media, refused to wear the hijab, the headscarf. And in 2023, she ran into a neighbor's house, screaming and claiming that her father was attempting to kill her. Well, in 2024, he succeeded. And apparently, the last straw came when he saw her post a live video on TikTok. Ryan was wearing makeup, and her head was uncovered. Here, I'm showing you the photo, the picture of her side by side in the hijab and without right now on your screen. Well, the father, probably the other male members of the family, because let's face it, they all joined in on this. She was tied up with tape and drowned in a ditch. She was tied up with tape and drowned in a ditch because she was becoming too Western. Now, here's the kicker. Now, murder, we know murder is wrong. Murder is wrong in just about all Western culture. Doesn't matter where you are. You murder somebody, meaning you take an innocent life, that is considered murder. And you know what the men said? Honor killings are a part of our culture. Okay. You willingly applied for asylum, you shitheads. You went there to protect your family from the war going on in Syria, I would assume. And you get mad when your children start adopting Western culture. By the way, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I really just can't. I can't even imagine how anybody could sit here and be talking about this and not get pissed off. Because let's face it, okay, that night on the 22nd of May, because the men felt that she brought shame to their family for posting that TikTok video, okay, the father ordered the sons to kidnap their sister and meet him at a swamp. They gagged her, bound her hands and feet, tied heavy objects to her to weigh her down before throwing her into the water to drown. 6 days later, a passerby found her body in the city of Lelystad. Lelystad, S-T-A-D, about 25 miles northeast of Amsterdam. Her family was already on law enforcement's radar, but it did her no good. So, by the way, the Telegraph reported that she had been under some sort of police protection until just before her murder. The evidence suggests that she tried to fight. Her father's DNA was found under her fingernails. Her brother's fingerprints were on her phone, which was tucked into her sock. The two brothers, who were 23 and 25 respectively, are currently on trial in the Netherlands for her murder. The father fled to Turkey, and while living in Istanbul, he reached out to relatives, telling them where they could find the girl's body. He also wrote letters to the Dutch media claiming that his sons were not involved and that he was the one who did it on his own. The brothers also maintain that story, even though prosecutors, of course, disagree. They're sitting there claiming that it was an honor killing, simply a part of their religious values. Now the father is back in Syria, reportedly, where he has remarried, while his sons face up to 20 years in prison for the sister's murder. Folks, this is the problem. This is the problem. See, whether you believe it or not, I'm telling you, there are cultures in this country that will never, ever assimilate into our ways, into Western culture. And in fact, they despise it so bad that they want to destroy Western culture. Because to them, it is the work of whatever they call the devil over there. It is unholy to them. Folks, we live in a very big world. And not all cultures, not all countries, and not all continents have people on it who will ever agree with Western civilization. At all. And by the way, honor killings such as this one have been on the rise in Europe over the last few decades, because this has been the importation of their culture, their attempts to take over their culture. Have you ever seen the signs? I've seen them all over on social media, where they have places where the people of the Muslim faith have all congregated. They've all bought, they live in one central area. I mean, you could probably find this if you go to Dearborn, Michigan, as an example. But they put up signs. And the sign says, please, kindly do not walk your dog here. The Muslims in this neighborhood view dogs as being unclean, and therefore it offends their religious sensibilities. Again, just because you came from there and you don't like there doesn't mean you can come here and try to make here into there, because you don't like here worse. If you follow all of that. See, this is why I'm not trying to be okay. I'm not being prejudicial. End of story. I am not being bigoted. I am simply stating facts. Many of these people, not all, but many of these people have no desire to come and assimilate into our society. And yet we, being the magnanimous Western cultures, we have to be open and inclusive. No, we don't. We don't have to be inclusive. We can honestly look at these people and say, you know what? You believe your way, I believe my way, and as long as the two of us don't cross each other, you go your way, I'll go mine, we'll live in peace and harmony. Now, that ain't going to happen, but that's the goal. But we need, in the Western world, we need to recognize that, number one, the way we live isn't compatible with everybody. The things that we want are not compatible with everybody. Our religion, primary religion, Christianity, Judeo-Christian values and principles, is not going to be compatible with everybody. And whether you know it or not, our founding fathers, including Benjamin Franklin, tried to tell us about this a long time ago because they actually interacted with the Muslims. That's what they called them, M-O-O-S, Muslims. They tried to interact with them, and they found out that there was no compatibility between them and us. This is ridiculous. We, as Americans, are allowing our own culture to get torn up, tossed aside, and thrown away. Well, I, for one, am going to stand on my principles and values and basically tell you, literally tell you, that as far as I'm concerned, you do your thing, I'll do mine, and as long as you don't interfere with me and I don't interfere with you, we can live together side by side. We just don't talk to each other, don't interact, we don't give a shit. There you go. But the minute that you start affecting me or I start affecting you, that's when things are a bit of a problem. And realistically, if you are coming here to my country, that doesn't mean that I have to kowtow to your requests. No, you need to assimilate into my culture, not the other way around. If you don't like my culture, then don't come here. Stay where you are. I don't go over there and, me personally don't go over there and try to change you. No, you stay over there. You do what you do. Live how you want to live. But don't come here and expecting us to change our ways. We happen to like dogs. We happen to keep them as pets. We happen to walk them when we're in the city because a dog needs to relieve itself. We actually believe in hygiene. We don't believe in walking around shitting on the street and using our hand to wipe with. That isn't the way our culture works. But there's a lot of places over there that it does. That's the way that works. Yeah. We need to stop this idea that inclusion is great. No, it is not. Inclusion and diversity actually destroy. They don't make us stronger, they make us weaker. Anyway. I wanted to bring that to your attention because they are essentially, what you're seeing, what's happening over in Europe is essentially going to be coming here to the United States if President Trump is unable to completely eradicate these people and get them out of our country. Now, again, if you want to come here legally, if you're coming here for the ability to come here and live a better life, live a life in the Western world, make all kinds of money, become successful, opportunities abound. But the idea of the melting pot is to bring us the good things from your culture and throw away all the bad. That's what the old immigrants did when they arrived at Ellis Island. They got rid of, for an example, like my wife's grandfather, stopped speaking Italian, started speaking English because he was here in America, an English-speaking country. End of story. He wanted nothing to do with Italy, although I got to tell you, he brought his winemaking and he brought his some of these great recipes and everything else, but that was the point, is assimilating, taking what's good, keeping it, getting rid of the bad, and then joining in to American culture. That's how you do this when you come here legally, immigrate here legally. You don't sit here and wave the frickin' flag from the country that you came from because for some damn reason you seem to think that it's better than the country that you're in. If that's the case, get the hell out. Go back to that other country. I don't care whether it's Mexico, Pakistan, Palestine isn't even a country. Just get the hell out. Tired of sitting here making excuses and bending over backwards just because of the fact that you seem to think that we Westerners are so weak in our mindsets. We're no longer weak anymore. At least not this American. Anyway. All right. I've been holding off on this for a little while, but I got to put it out there because Donald Trump announced on Truth Social today that he was immediately rescinding anything that Joe Biden did with the Autopen. Now, okay, let's be completely honest. Signing bills and things like that, all of that should be taken into account. But any executive orders, absolutely, President has no problem. He can throw it right out because that's what they can do when you switch presidents. He doesn't even need to say that it was the Autopen. But what's historic here is that Donald Trump also said anything that Joe Biden signed with the Autopen is now null and void. That includes the pardons. Now, I'm going to guarantee you that will probably get taken to court in terms of the pardons. But all of that also comes into play is Joe Biden's lifetime judicial appointments. Yes, that includes the SCOTUS appointment of Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, according to Donald Trump, announced on Truth Social last Friday, he was terminating all orders and documents from the previous administration that were signed by an Autopen rather than by Joe Biden personally. So that being said, Hunter Biden's pardon will stay in place, will hold up, because that was the only one that was signed, literally hand-signed by Joe Biden. Trump stated, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden because the people who operated the Autopen did so illegally. He estimated that up to 92% of all of the things that Joe signed were not signed by hand. Now, James Comer, who was chairman of the House Oversight Committee, commended Trump's decision and hinted at just how damaging Biden's use of the Autopen had become. And he pointed out the House Oversight Oversight Committee recently exposed how Biden Autopen presidency is one of the biggest political scandals in U.S. history. As Americans witnessed President Biden's decline with their own eyes, Biden's inner circle sought to deceive the public, conceal his condition, and take unauthorized executive actions using the Autopen, actions that are now invalid. The House Oversight Committee delivered crucial transparency, and now President Trump and his administration are delivering accountability. Now, here's the thing. According to the testimony brought to the House Oversight Committee, they reported that aides testified to what extent he was propped up while making personal appearances. For an example, makeup, teleprompters for small fundraisers, limiting events, stage managing appearances, reducing his workload, avoiding interviews, even seeking Hollywood's help for the State of the Union, according to all of the aides' testimony. The committee concluded that these people controlled everything, including who could see him. It wasn't a presidency, it was a production, they said. By the way, it was even worse. His own aides didn't even know who actually operated the Autopen. Now, question, however, comes down to the appointments that were made by Biden to federal offices, specifically the lifetime appointments of the 235 judicial appointments during his tenure in office. Now, one, obviously, was the Supreme Court Justice, 45 U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals judges, 187 U.S. District Court judges, 2 U.S. Court of International Trade judges. So here, honestly, is where this might actually come into play. Because there is this law. I hate it. Well, the leftists hate it when the law is brought in. Right here is the law. 5 U.S. Code 2902. Once again, that's 5 U.S.C. Section 2902. And it basically says that any time any of these offices, and believe me, there's a bunch of them, okay, they must have the Secretary of State must have and make out a record and affix the seal of the United States to the commission of an officer, okay, appointed by the president. Now, here's the part that could come into suspect for this. The seal of the United States may not be affixed to the commission before the commission has been signed by the president. Doesn't say signed by a automatic pen, which, by the way, the Autopen, or a version of it, a very early version of it, was used by Thomas Jefferson. Okay. Again, every single one of these, the department seal may not be affixed to the commission of officers, of judicial officers, of U.S. state attorneys and marshals, and all of these other people who are appointed by the president. None of them, the department seal itself, may not be affixed to any of the documents making this legal until it has been signed by the president. Not signed by the person whom the president authorizes, not signed by the machine that the president authorizes, but signed by the president. Now, I know I'm going to go over time here, but I just want to make sure you understand this. You'll recall that when I was talking about this a long time ago, that a lot of this will depend on whether or not the Autopen can classify as a stand-in for the president. And you'll recall the first time any president had ever used it on a actual law, like signing something into law, was Barack Obama. The Autopen is not, as far as I can tell, a constitutionally accepted signature for anything. The Constitution doesn't state anywhere within it the president or his or her authorizer. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. I'm just saying, folks, this could be the key. If this goes to SCOTUS and they rule on the fact that, hey, if he didn't physically sign it, then it's null and void. And I know that's going to be asking a lot of the SCOTUS, but if it's not signed by the president, there could be legal recourse. And I actually think that this administration should take this to the Supreme Court. Okay? They should take this to the Supreme Court. And, yeah. Wow. I kind of hope that this is the case. If we could get this, the whole birthright citizenship thing, the whole tariffs thing, all of this stuff, wow. Talk about the next 3 years. I'm telling you, the next 3 years are going to be extremely interesting. Oh, wow. Anyway, all right. Well, as per usual, I have a couple things that I am leaving on the cutting room floor. So anyway, that is it for me for this evening. Do me a favor. If you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, make sure that you follow the American Perspective channel by searching it up and hitting that green follow button. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Whiskey Wednesday. Don't forget, hey, if you have a pet of the week that you haven't submitted yet, please get it in because I don't have one. Well, I think I may have like a use in case of an emergency, but I'd much rather have one that isn't like that because I like to hang on to that one for use in case of anyway, an emergency. But do me a favor, send it on in to fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. Like I said, we'll see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.